She tells him, ooh, love, no one's ever gonna hurt you, love. I'm gonna give you all of my love. Nobody matters like you.
The Tale of the Ass, the Bull, and the Planter. Know, my little girl, that there was once a vendor, expert of wealth and steers, wedded, and the dad of youngsters, to whom Allah had likewise given comprehension of the tongues of monsters and birds. The spot of this dealer's home was in a ripe land on the bank of a waterway, and in his ranch there were an ass and a bull. On one occasion the bull came to the steady where the ass was held up and thought that it is very much cleared and watered, with very much winnowed grain in the trough and on the ground very much filtered straw and the ass lying there at his ease, for when his lord mounted him it would just be for some short ride that opportunity demanded and the ass would rapidly get back to his rest. Presently on that day the trader heard the bull tell the ass, "Bring you happiness of your food, and may you think that it is solid, productive, and of a decent processing. I, at the end of the day, am weary, but you are rested. You eat well winnowed barley and are really focused on, and if, on occasion your ace mounts you, he brings you rapidly back. As for me I am nevertheless used to work and to work the factory." And the ass said, "When you go out into the field and they put the burden upon your neck, throw yourself to the earth and don't rise even on the off chance that they beat you. Likewise, when you in all actuality do get up, tumble down again right away. Also, after if they let you back to the byre and give you beans to eat, leave them, as though you were sick. Drive yourself in this manner not to eat or drink for a little while or even 3. Thus you will rest from your work and your exhaustion." Recall that the dealer was there and heard their words. At the point when the planter came to give rummage to the bull, he saw that he ate very little, and when in the first part of the day he took him out to work he viewed him as sick. Then the trader shared with the farmer, "Take the ass and make him work in the bull's place for the entire day." So the man returned and assumed the ass in position of the bull and made it work during the entire day. At the point when the ass returned to the stable by the day's end, the bull said thanks to him for his decency of heart and for having allowed him to rest from his exhaustion. Be that as it may, the ass didn't address anything and, all things being equal, atoned sharply. Following day the farmer came and took the ass once more and made him work till the fall of day, so the ass got back with a bothered neck and broken by fatigue. Then the bull, seeing the state he was in, started to say thanks to him with omission and burden him with praises. To which the ass replied, "How peaceful were the prior days this when only extravagance was my part," and added, "In the meantime I will offer you a piece of good guidance. I heard our Lord say if the bull doesn't get up from his place, we should hand him over to the slaughterer to kill and to make a calfskin fabric for the table. I'm much apprehensive for your security." At the point when the bull heard the ass words, he said thanks to him and said, "Tomorrow I will go with them unreservedly and take care of my works." With that he started to eat and gulped all the scavenge and, surprisingly, licked the bushel clean with his tongue. Recollect their Lord saw and heard this. At the point when the day came the dealer went out with his significant other towards the buyers and the two of them plunked down. Then, at that point, the farmer came and took out the bull who, at seeing his lord, started to search his tail and uproariously fart and dash ridiculously in all directions. The shipper was seized with such a giggling that he moved on his back. His better half inquired, "What are you giggling at?" He replied, "At a thing which I have seen and heard, however of which I may not tell you without biting the dust." And she said, you should let me know the explanation of your chuckling, regardless of whether you need to pass on for it. He said, I can't tell you, since I dread to kick the bucket. Then said she, I know, you are snickering at me. After this she didn't stop fighting and bewildering him with willful words until she drove him into extraordinary perplexity. At long last, he made his kids come to him and shipped off Call the Kata and witnesses, wishing to make his will before he ought to confess to the key to his better half and bite the dust. For he extraordinarily cherished his significant other, since she was the girl of his dad's sibling and the mother of his kids, and since he had lived with her for 120 years. Further, he welcomed all his significant other's family members in the society of the locale and, relating the story, let them know how he would kick the bucket on the moment of uncovering his secret. Then all who were available told the spouse, Allah accompany you. Leave this matter on one side in case your better half, the dad of your kids, bite the dust. However, she replied, I won't ever leave him in harmony until he tells me, regardless of whether he needs beyond words it. So they quit prevailing upon her, and the dealer rose from among them and went, by the side of the stable, towards the nursery, altogether that he could initially make his demise bathing there and afterward return to confess his mysterious and to kick the bucket. Presently the dealer had a bold chicken which could fulfill 50 hens, and furthermore a canine. Furthermore, he heard the canine calling to the rooster and reproving it, saying, Are you not embarrassed about being so gay when our Lord is on the mark of death? Then the chicken asked the canine how this was thus, and, when the canine had recounted to him the story, he shouted, By Allah, our Lord is remarkably ailing in knowledge. I personally have 50 spouses, and I succeed very well by satisfying one and chastening another, while he, who has just a single wife, doesn't have the foggiest idea about the approach to managing her. It is very straightforward. He has however to cut himself some great mulberry twigs, return in solidarity to his confidential room, and beat her until she either kicks the bucket or apologizes. She won't beg him with any inquiries regarding any matter from that point forward, I in all actuality do guarantee you. So the chicken talked, and when the dealer heard him, light got back to his explanation and he made plans to beat his better half. Here the wazir stopped in his story and shared with his girl Shaharzad, It very well might be I will do to you as the dealer did to his significant other. She asked him, how did he respond? And the wazir proceeded. The traitor entered his significant other's chamber, subsequent to having cut in secret about him certain mulberry twigs, and called to her, expressing, Come into my confidential room that I might let you know my mystery, away from all, and afterward bite the dust. So she entered with him and he shut the entryway of the confidential room and fell upon her with increased blows until she fainted away. At long last, when she could talk, she cried, I apologize. I apologize, and, starting to stroke her significant other's hands and feet, atoned in very truth. A while later she left with him, and every one of the family members and those accumulated there celebrated. Blissful and prosperous were the fortunes of all until their demises. In this way he talked, and when Shaharzad, the wazir's little girl, heard her dad's story, she said, All things considered, my dad, I wish you to do what I have asked you. So the wazir, without demanding further, had the wedding pieces of clothing of his girl Shaharzad prepared, and afterward went to tell the make a difference to Lord Shahryar. In the meantime, Shaharzad guided her young sister, when I'm with the Lord I will ship off get you, then when you have come and when you see the ruler finish his demonstration with me, you should say, tell me, my sister, a portion of your accounts of wonder that the night might pass charmingly. Then, at that point, will I let you know stories which, assuming that Allah wills, will be the redemption of the little girls of the Mussulmans. After this the Wazir, her dad, came to take her and went up with her into the presence of the Lord. Also, the ruler, being overborne with satisfaction, told him, is the needful thing for sure present? And consciously the Wazir replied, yes. Yet, when the ruler wished to take the little kid, she started to sob, so he inquired, what upsets you? She replied, oh my lord, I have a younger sibling and I would agree that my goodbyes to her. So the Lord sent for the younger sibling, who came and hurled herself upon the neck of Shaharzad, and in conclusion grovelled down close to the bed. Then the Lord rose and, taking the lady Shaharzad, violated her virginity. Subsequently they talked together and Duniyazad told Shaharzad, Allah accompany you. Tell us, my sister, a portion of your stories of wonder, that the night might pass charmingly. And Shaharzad replied, readily and as an obligation, assuming the extraordinary and gracious Lord grants. When the ruler heard these words, and being besides unfit to rest, he was not the slightest bit disinclined to paying attention to the story of Shaharzad. And Shaharzad, this first night, began the following tale.